everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be trying out the Blendiful from Tati Beauty. So this is the packaging that it comes in. It comes with one Blendiful plus one baby Blendiful. I'm really interested to see how it's going to work with creams and powders. I'm going to try and do a full face with the Blendiful. So here is the Blendiful and here is the mini Blendiful. So as you can see, this is a nice big size. It's very soft, very bendy. This one feels a little bit firmer, probably because it's a bit smaller as well, and it just feels like really like spongy. Oh my god, I'm so excited. I'm going to use my Dose of Colors Meet Your Hue foundation. I think I'll just put this on the back of my hand. I'm going to do like 2 pumps. Really good foundation, so let's see how this applies. Actually, I'm going to zoom in. Alright, so I've got my foundation on the back of my hand and I'm just going to fold the sponge in half and just kind of get a little bit of the product. Oh my god. This is like spreading the product so quickly. It's just natural for me to kind of use this pouncing motion because I'm always doing that with a beauty blender or a beauty sponge, so it's kind of natural to do this. So I'm just kind of sandwiching my finger in there and I'm using this to kind of get around my nose area, around my mouth. Just going in with a little bit more product just to kind of build up the coverage. I just noticed there's a couple little pieces of fluff coming off. I was like, where is that coming from? So it's a little hard to get around the brows, especially if you've already done them, so I would suggest using a brush for this step, but I'm just going to try and do the best that I can because I really want to see what this is capable of. I was actually worried that this would like shear out my foundation, and the Dose of Colors foundation is a full coverage foundation, so if it made it look, you know, like a lighter coverage, then obviously this would be soaking up a lot of product. But I don't feel like it is. Oh, there's another one. So I keep seeing these little tiny pieces of fluff, so I don't know if you're meant to wash this first or just kind of rinse it, because you do get those little bits of fluff on your face and it's kind of annoying. I think patting motions really gives you the best finish. If you swipe, you kind of move the product around, as you can probably see right there. So yeah, patting motions kind of keeps the coverage and keeps it from like moving around. It's just so weird applying my makeup with something like this. Like I would never think to use something like this to apply my foundation, like cream products. It's so weird to me. Alright, I'm gonna apply my concealer. I'm using my Dose of Colors Meet Your Hue concealer. Just going to apply it with the applicator, of course. So using a different side of the Blendable, I'm going to use this clean side. Again, I'm going to fold it in half and just start tapping my concealer. And sometimes I like to get a really clean line like above, like below my wing right here, so let's see how that works. You can kind of see that line it created because I think I accidentally used like the seam right here, so I'm just going to pat over that. Wow, so this is a medium to full coverage concealer, but you can see that it definitely keeps the coverage there. It doesn't like remove the product, which is nice. I love that it's so bendy, so you can kind of bend it into any shape and get into any little area. I'm going to go ahead and set my concealer, and I'm actually going to bake. So I'm using my Huda Beauty Easy Bake Powder in the shade Banana Bread, and I'm just going to dip it straight into the cap just to pick up like a lot of product like that and start pressing this underneath. Oh, that was easy. I'm going to cream contour, so I'm using the Rimmel Insta Duo contour stick. So I'm just going to apply this under my cheekbone right here on my forehead. Alright, I'm going to turn this over. I'm going to use the clean side, so just using like one edge right here. I'm going to use this to start blending this in. Wait, is it moving my foundation? It just doesn't look as flawless. It looks a little bit harsh. Can't really tell if it's fully blended. Maybe it's all about the technique and the way you kind of press the product in. This is a little bit different for me. It's something that I've never used before, so it's a little bit trickier to blend like my cream contour. I don't know if you can tell, but right here it's again moved my foundation as I was blending, which is just making it look really patchy. So I am using a brush just to dust off my baking powder, and then I'll set the rest of my face. I'm going to set the rest of my face using my Australis Fresh and Flawless pressed powder. I'm going to take a clean side of the sponge. So going in with my powder, just going to press this into the compact. Oh, whoa, that's a lot. I don't want like a full coverage look, but I'm just going to set everywhere else. Okay, so I think it works really good for this. It's kind of like using a puff to set your makeup, so it's kind of the same thing. Just kind of pressing over. There's something about the Beauty Blender that I just love, and I think it's the fact that it's wet and it's kind of refreshing on the face. I'm just going to press over everything. Did my cream contour disappear or what? To bronze up my face, I'm using my Tati Beauty bronzer, and I guess I'm just gonna kind of tap it in here just a little bit, or a lot. That was definitely a lot. Okay, it's definitely working. Again, just doing tapping motions because I'm just scared to do like any sort of swiping motions. This is working really nice to apply the bronzer. Better than the cream contour for sure. Just gonna blend it into my hairline. And by the way, it is $18 US, so you get the two Blendifuls, the big one and the mini one. So for powder, it says dip into your favorite powder and use a patting motion to lay down product for an airbrushed, locked in finish. And you can see Tati is using it to bake right there, so that is what I've done as well. And to highlight, it says taking an angled side, dab on cream or powder highlight to the places you want to glow. I'm using my Kylie blush, Baddie on the Block. Again, dabbing into the product, getting a little bit on there. Just gonna tap this on. I feel like everything's coming together now. It looks pretty flawless on the skin. So lastly, I'm going to highlight my face. I'm going to use my Fenty highlighter, and I use the shades Mean Money and Hustle Baby. I just went to like tap off as if it's a brush. I always bring it right up here. I'm going to try and make it really, really tiny at the end to go down the bridge. I'm going to use my finger to do my inner corners. Alright, so I just went and finished off my lower lash line and I finished my lips. So I'm using my KKW Nude 1.5 lip liner and Nude 1 lipstick. and then topped it off with my Colourpop gloss called Curvy. So I'm just going to set my face really quick with my Tatcha Satin Skin Mist. Right, so let's get a close-up. So here is my makeup really close up. I feel like it looks really flawless on the skin. It's definitely full coverage. I did use more full coverage products, the Dose of Colours foundation and concealer, but I feel like it really kept the coverage there. It didn't seem to soak up that much product. I mean, this still feels pretty dry. This is what it looks like after applying a full face of makeup. I think it worked pretty well, but I'm gonna go and see how easy this is to clean now. So let's go. So here is the Blendiful after washing it. It came out nice and clean, and I just used a bar of soap to wash it, and I kind of patted it dry with a towel, and it feels almost dry, so that's really good. But you don't want to wring it out when you're washing it because you could rip it. That's what Tati said. So here's what my makeup looks like using only the Blendiful to apply everything on my face. So I use this to apply my foundation, my concealer, cream contour, and all my powders, including my bronzer, highlight, and blush. And here's how the makeup turned out. I think it looks really good on the skin, and I don't think this soaked up too much product when I was applying it. It didn't ever feel like really heavy when I was applying it, almost like you can't blend anymore because there's so much product in there. It didn't feel like that at all. Really easy to clean, and it's just about dry. Like, it's a tiny bit damp, but if you just let it air dry overnight, it's going to be ready to use the next day. This was a little bit tricky to blend out my cream contour because I'm not used to using something that's this shape. I'm always used to using a beauty blender or a brush to blend it out. And of course the mini Blendiful I think I'll use to just touch up my makeup because it is so small. So sometimes I just like to have something just to kind of press my makeup. It just kind of absorbs any oil, and I don't know, I feel like it just kind of blends out and smooths out any lines or any creasing that you have. Imagine like pulling this out in public. It's like such a fancy little powder puff. So I'll probably just use this for that. I'll just throw it in my purse. It's really small and easy to travel with. So that is my first impressions of the Blendiful from Tati Beauty. I think she did a really good job. I've never seen anything like this before. So it was something different. Definitely takes a little bit of getting used to, but I'm definitely gonna incorporate it into my routine. I'm still going to use brushes, I'm still going to use my beauty blender and my beauty sponges, but yeah, I think it's a nice product to try out. I hope this video was really helpful. Thank you so much for watching today, and I'll see you very soon in my next video. Bye!